Yeah, Big Nasty's in there. It took him a while to get in last week. Still don't know why that happened.
The only thing I can figure is with everything going on, everybody online just kind of,
Well, see, it's done that with me on his live feeds. Big Nasty, there's Chad Fields and Big Nasty in the house. Yeah, he had live feeds, and I could sit and watch it, but I couldn't comment. It's like my comments didn't exist. I texted him and said, look, man, I'm watching, but it won't let me comment. We went in and looked. He didn't have me blocked or nothing. I don't know what happened.
It might have been operator issues. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm done with a box of rocks when it comes to computers, but, there's Nebraska Wildcats. I think that's a new face in the house. Welcome, my friend. Welcome. Team Wampus Cat, Fishing Magician. They're starting to trickle in here. Oh, man, like we don't do this every Wednesday night. There's Maurice. Team Keeping It Real Fishing. Mike Lewis. We got them coming in. James, I appreciate you joining me tonight.
Oh, no problem, James. Like I said, I was talking to you the other day. I think everybody just needs kind of a fun night. I mean, most of the shows, are having a good time. So why can't we?
Right. Oh, Joey Kirby's in the house tonight. Give me 1 second.
Go ahead.
I forget something, and I should never forget this. Sorry about that, guys. I was trying to wait till a few more got in here to kind of shoot the crap with you for a second before we actually do a legit start. There's Muskrat in the house, Avid, Junior Proctor, Stan Brown. I'm starting to see some few new names. I'm glad new people's coming in. Hillbilly, Maurice. Let's start this off by saying God bless America, guys. God bless you and your families. I hope each and every one of you staying safe, doing your social distancing, and think about other people. There's people out there in our community that might need our help, elderly that might need you to run to the store to get certain things for them so they don't have to get out amongst this stuff. So be aware of it. And we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And James, I think James is going to come on here tonight and try to make us laugh a little bit. And I appreciate that, James.
Well, I'm going to start off by apologizing to everybody. If my voice sounds a little bit higher, I had a small boating accident today, and the water here in Missouri is still really, really cold. So everything eventually settled back down, but that water is. I launched my kayak, and I thought I was going to be smart, and I paddled around this little pond for probably about 2-3 hours, and I had a good time. Caught a couple of decent crappies, some bluegill, a couple of bass, and then it just all went downhill from after that. I tried to unload that or get that kayak out of the water by myself, and I'm just not as coordinated as I used to be, and it did not end well in my favor. So yeah,
we got a few people. Justin Fishing Fetish. We got K&B, Catawba Backwoods, Kentucky Catman Outdoors saying hello. Mr. Sonny Parker's in the house. Trouble's in the house. Jonathan Bivens.
Have you ever seen Sonny's videos? He's got that little dog. I don't know why, but I every time I think of Sonny, I think of that little dog squeaker toy, and that's what I think Sonny sounds like. Just like one of those little annoying dog squeaker toys. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I mean, I might.
Did Katie push you in? Is what he's wanting to know.
Katie actually helped me load up the kayak in the side by side, and then she was like, "I'm going back in the house. You're on your own." She goes, "If you do something stupid, that's it. You're."
Oh, we got Running Lake Fishing, Catfish Tennessee, Chunky Cats is in the house, Kentucky Catfishing's in the house, Stan Brown, Lena Hardwick's in the house. Hello, lady. We got a good crowd. So Sonny's going to give us some stories, guys, and some funny fishing stuff. If you got any questions, please throw them out there. We're just going to try to have a good time. Break the cabin fever, I guess we would say, and the ho-hums of the world, and just have a good laugh amongst friends and family.
Before we get into that, I'd like to kind of just ask everybody, kind of watch what you're posting on Facebook. You know, with all the kids being out of school, these kids were spending a lot of time online, and they don't need to see everything, you know, doom and gloom in the world. You know, you got a funny post it. You got some funny pictures, a funny story, something like that. An uplifting one, most of the time. That's, I'm not posting, I'm not trashing people that are worried. I'm not, trashing the people that aren't worried about it. It's just, we have to all get through this. And as bad as it is, if it gets too bad for you, back away from your computer. Go outside, take a kid fishing, take, a family fishing, something like that.
Just take a walk in the woods.
There you go. Stay away from each other, but just go easy on the post, because let's be honest, these kids they're watching our post. They are. So, but anyway, I'll tell you what. One of the first memories I ever had of traumatized fishing was there was a fight between my dad and his brother over whose kid I was. I mean, my dad would say, he's not my kid. And of course, my uncle would be like, oh, he's not my kid. So we were living in Lubbock, Texas, and we traveled back and forth between there and Tyler, Texas, all the way across the state. And my uncle's like, hey, I got this pond. You guys come over here to East Texas. It's filled with crappie. Come in there and fish it. So we drove all the way over there and pull up into this little drive. Well, there's this gate, but it doesn't have a no trespassing sign. All it says is beware of alligators. That's it. That was the sign. And I thought, oh, that's not bad. I'm not afraid of snakes or lizards or spiders or anything like that. And we drove down this little dirt road and didn't think anything of it. I mean, this is the type of road where if you stop and you heard banjos, you knew you were in the right area, folks. I mean, seriously, that's how scary this thing was. And I was probably 8 or 9 years old. We get out there and there's this old rickety dock. And my dad and his brother, they go off to the end of the dock and they're fishing. And I'm sitting there fishing with his two young kids. And they had this stringer, and it had about 5 or 6 crappie on it. They weren't big crappie, but they were proud of them. And one of them kids accidentally hit that stringer, and that stringer fell in the water. And so I thought, all right, I'll just reach out there with my fishing hook and I'll hook the stringer. And I leaned up against that rail, and about the time I hit that stringer with that fishing pole, that rail gave way.
Uh-oh.
Now, looking back on it now, it was probably only about a 4-foot drop to that water, but it seemed like it was at least 40. And
question for you. Was the first thought went through your mind was what was on that sign?
Oh, yes. That's what I was about to get to, James. Before I hit that water, they say your life flashes before your eyes. That ain't true, sir. That ain't. All I could see was that sign. I mean, and it was flashing at me at this point in time. And I hit that water, and I'm telling you, Jesus would have been proud. I hit the top of that water, and I mean, I flew all the way to the bank. And it was probably, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 feet from the bank. But I mean, I made it in record time. I mean, at least for my record anyway. So I get up there, and I'm standing up on the bank, and I'm looking around, and my dad and his brother are literally standing up on this dock fighting over who's going to go in and rescue me. And both of them are yelling at each other. He's not my son. Well, he's not mine. You go get him. So after all that calms down, I'm sitting there and I'm looking around, and my dad goes, where's that fishing pole? Well, I didn't have it on the bank with me. And I mean, I know I didn't bring it out of the water because that would have been hard to swim with. And he's like, you go back and get that rod. And I'm like, no, I'm not going back and getting that rod. He's like, you go back and get that rod right now. So I, being the good son that I am, I start inching my way out there. And I get about halfway up there, and that water is just about ankle deep. And I get all the way out there to where I fell in and that fishing pole was. And I kid you not, it was maybe a foot and a half deep. I reached down and grabbed that pole. I was mad. I don't know how I swam in that water, but I got that fishing pole. I got that stringer of fish. I walked back up. I never talked to them for the rest of the day. I was done. Done.
Alligator bait.
Oh, I never did see that gator, but I guarantee I never went back to that place again. And every time my uncle would call and say, I've got a new place, be like, well, you just have fun with that. That's your thing, not mine.
Oh, so he said 4 foot, 40 foot sounds like your description of fish you catch.
Yeah, that. Sonny, I should have come over there and fished with you. I really should have. But, with everything going on, I was, I'd have to drive over there and then I'd have to put up with you all day and then drive all the way back. And it's bad enough. Katie'd have to drive me. So, I mean, that'd be double as bad for me because I'd have to put up with her. Then I'd have to put up with Sonny. And then I'd have to put up with her again just to get back home.
There you go. Guys, if you don't mind, share this. Let's get a little bit of laughter going on. Share it up. Let people watch and stuff. I got a pretty good one on you. Right. We got a hot hole over here, and I know y'all probably heard of the hot holes where the hot water comes out of an old coal fire plant. They hardly ever run it anymore. But used to, you could go down there, and when they was pulling water, you could just wire the white bass and stuff out during the wintertime. But we was down there spring, me and a buddy down there fishing. There wasn't hardly anybody set up down there that day because we worked odd hours so we could fish a lot during the week. And we was down there set up on the bank, and we done got bored. There wasn't nothing hidden, but we was down there for the day, enjoying ourselves. Well, we didn't realize there's a game warden set up on the hill watching us. And there was a bunch of other people on down, but they was way away from us. And they was fishing kind of out on the point, which is where we should have been. But anyway, we was fishing, and Steve, he's a character. We seen 2 ducks start coming down the water, 2 mallards, and they're swimming. Well, when they were swimming, they'd go like this, and one would turn, look at the other one, then they'd turn away, and look at it. Well, he started putting words to them ducks, like a husband and a wife. And we got to laughing, and about time them ducks got in front of us, Steve said, well, why don't you kiss my tail? When he did, that duck stuck his head underneath the water. Oh, my God, we lost it. I couldn't breathe. My ribs hurt. My stomach hurt. We couldn't even look at each other. We had to walk away. I thought that game, when we turned around, that game was sitting up there laughing at us. I thought, he probably thinks we drunk sitting down here. We wasn't drinking or nothing. But that duck timed that thing just perfect, and we lost it, son. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard in my cotton picking life.
But those are the trips you're never going to forget.
No,
ever. I got one. Speaking of animals, I got one for you. So everybody's got these fishing ponds. All right, you're driving down the road, you see these private ponds, and your car just automatically starts to veer toward that pond. I mean, you can't help it. You can't control the car. Katie yells at me all the time. He's like, babe, look, there's nothing I can do about it. It's just the car, wants to go there. Well, we got one of these places up here, and for years it was, the people that owned it, they wouldn't let nobody fish this pond. I mean, absolutely nobody. And happened to walk into the coffee shop up here one morning, and the guys were talking about how, the new owners, were up there on that place, and that, sometimes they'd let people fish. I didn't even finish my coffee that morning. I mean, I went running back home, and I mean, I'm throwing stuff around the house. I'm trying to get everything ready and just to be on that safe side. Katie's done thought, again, I've lost my mind. Get out, load the car up. I go up there to knock on the door, and this elderly lady comes up there, and I asked her, politely if she minded if I went and fish that pond. She said, no. Well, my excitement got the better of me, and I went bolting back to the car. I got my stuff, and I heard her say something, and I wasn't quite sure what it was, and I just kind of waved and, just did the, thank you. And I hit the top of that fence, and that electric fence got me right on the inside of my thigh. I mean, and it knocked me straight to the ground. I laid there for probably, maybe 5 minutes, finally caught my breath, figured out where I was, what I was doing, and I went back down there to this lake. Well, the more I thought about what that woman had said, it wasn't anything about that electric fence. It was something about a bull
in the electric fence.
Yeah. Well, and I thought, I don't see it because there was no bulls down there. There was no cattle I could see, nothing like that. So it is about maybe a fourth of a mile from the house to the pond. And I go walking down there and I'm looking around. I mean, I'm curious. I mean, I don't want to be face to face with no big giant bull coming up on me mad. So I'm sitting there and I'm fishing and I'm keeping one eye out. And I mean, I start knocking crappie like you wouldn't believe. I mean, just left and right. And we're talking 10 to 12-inch crappie about every other cast.
I love them pond crappie.
Oh, yeah. So I'm sitting there and I chunk one out and I look across the pond and there he was. It had to be the biggest bull I'd ever seen in my life. I mean, big old Brahma bull. And I thought, all right, he's on that side of the pond. I'm on this side. I'm good. I'm still fishing and carrying on. Well, he starts to move. And as he's moving, of course, I'm playing chess. I mean, I'm moving right there with him.
There you go.
Across. And so I get back up over and I got to jump over this little ditch thing. And so I throw my stuff across and I turn back around and that bull has gained on me, considerably gained on me. I had no choice but jump across this. And my age didn't catch up with me when I launched off the side of that dam to try to make it across that ditch. I landed smack in the middle of the foulest smelling mud you would ever smelled in your life. I really did. And so I'm sitting there and I, dig my shoe out, then go back in, dig my other shoe out, climb up there, and I'm, trying to rinse off in the pond. I noticed that bull just kind of stopped and stared at me. And I thought, all right, so this is where it's going to end right now. He's either going to turn around and go back the other way or he's going to come back toward me. And so I'm sitting there fishing again. And I just watching him. He's just standing there staring at me. And I get, probably about close to 30 crappie. And I thought that's more than enough. I don't want to wear my welcome out, anything like that. So I'm going to head back. Well, I got to noticing up that ditch line that I had jumped across. There, it goes wider and it gets a lot muddier. It's got cattails, goes into its old stinky, nasty pond and the whole 9 yards. So I got to go back across that pond. Well, this time I didn't make it either. I mean, I landed right in the middle of it, stuff scattered everywhere. So I started walking up this hill after collecting everything back up. And there's that bull again. And he's matching me pace for pace going up that hill. And he's just staying. He's staying an equal distance between me and him. And I thought, he's going to get up here to the top of this hill. I'm going to crest this little hill and he's going to be, he's going to come on. And I sat there and I'm watching that bull. I'm walking sideways. I'm dragging this, stringer of fish. By now, it started out maybe, 10 pounds worth of fish. By the time I got to the top of the hill, the stringer of fish probably weighed 100 pounds. Plus all my fishing gear. I was done. I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to outrun this bull if I can, or if it even tried.
Right.
I get all the way back up there and I start looking. Well, right in the middle of all these little tree line are these trees that are going straight up and down. And they're all the same height. There was a fence between me and that bull. He couldn't get to me. I did all that stuff and panicking for no reason. So I go up there. I find a different way to get across that electric fence. I go up there. This elderly lady, she comes out there and she's just laughing.
She's that watched you.
Oh yeah, I'm covered in mud up to my thighs, the whole 9 yards. And all of a sudden I look over, she's laughing and walking toward me. And that bull comes up out of this little barn lot and into the barn. And I thought, he followed me all the way up here. He's going to come up here and try to finish me off now. That's just all there is to it. The lady's standing out here. She's having a good time. And she walks over to that barn and she opens that little top hatch and that bull sticks his head out through there and she starts scratching his ear and loving on him the whole 9 yards. I looked at her, I was like, ma'am, exactly what did you say before I left down there? And she goes, don't mind the bull unless he tries to climb in your back pocket. He's been bottle fed his entire life. This was their pet. I had been run down by at least a 3,000-pound bull that wasn't going to hurt me, but he got the better of me that day. I mean, honestly. And she asked me right then, she's like, you want to come up and pet this bull? I was like, no, ma'am. I was like, if I go up there, I was like, me and that bull are not going to have kind words. And it was horrible. I mean, the whole ride home, I couldn't get that smell out of the car. I mean, it was bad. It was horrible.
I've gold mined some stuff like that, getting down to a good hole, and each time I'd have to bring my wetsuit home and actually scrub it with soap and water and a disinfectant out there in the driveway to get that bacteria out, because you can't. There's some stuff that you can put in your wetsuit that's it's called stink out.
Oh yeah.
And what it does, it kills the bacteria. But now you was telling me you done some writing or something for a newspaper or something.
Yeah. I don't put a lot of personal information up on Facebook. Most of the things I put up there, what people know about me is I love fishing, and I'm married to a little bitty short, extremely short person that you can trip over. All right.
She's gonna whop you up. We're gonna have live murder on here.
Well, you may. Think of the followers though, James. I mean, you probably gained at least another 1,000 right there. But no, I used to do a little bit of writing for a local newspaper up here, and then the University of Missouri got a hold of me. One of their writing classes, they were working on a book and wanted me to submit some of my stories. So I submitted, I think, 6 of them, and they picked all 6 of them and put them in that book. So,
I wish I'd have brought old Wampus Cat in here, because he's got a few stories that when he was fishing with his daddy. Now, his daddy's passed away. He's a good man, but he was a character. And, he's got that one story. He told it at Christmas on the Christmas show, if you remember.
Yes, sir.
They went down to Santee and he busted all them rods because that rod tore up.
Yep.
Louis was a character. And when Justin told that story, I could see that just as plain as the nose on my face and my head of Louis doing that. I could see him grabbing them rod and reels and beating them against. I could see it. I could see it plain as day. And
I've been really mad at fishing from time to time, but never mad enough to bust a rod. I mean, now
he had them old Zemco 808s. And it was probably a 60-pound daggum big old blue, ripped the gears out of it, but didn't stop there. He kept pulling so hard that he pulled that reel, slammed through every eye on that daggum rod. Well, the other 2 rod and reels on the stand was the same kind. He grabbed them by the end and beat them against a tree and went and bought 6,500 with brand new rods on them.
Now, I'll tell you, like Sonny popping off at the mouth, talking about Katie out fishing me. Yeah, I'm not worried about Katie. I'm not worried about Katie out fishing me unless we go crappie fishing. Now, if we're going crappie fishing, I refuse to take her anymore, because I mean, I'll go out there, I'll study the water. Okay, it's kind of a dark, milk chocolate looking thing. You got to use a dark, lure.
Yep.
Katie will walk up to that box and go, "Well, this one's pretty," and she'll put that thing on and outfish me 90% of the time.
My daughter used to do that to me and my buddies. I raised my daughter on the daggum riverbank, and I'd take cars and Barbies or whatever, and she'd set up there and play. She'd come down, grab her little rod and reel. We ain't caught nothing. She'd put her own night crawler on that thing, throw it out. Wouldn't be 15 minutes, that thing get a daggum fish. She'd reel it in, laugh at us, throw it on the bank, and go back to playing.
Yeah.
And we just sat here going, we done thrown all our rods out, ain't caught nothing. And she comes up in 15 minutes and just boom.
Oh, yeah.
And then
all my kids were raised on the river and stuff like that. Jolene, she spends more time on the water, with us than she does here at home. And
the best thing I found to take with you with kids is a little blow up raft. because you can blow that thing up, and when it's time for them to lay down, they climb up in that, throw a blanket on it, and they sleep like a rock in that rascal.
I'm gonna tell you something. All right, we have a blow up raft. All right, I bought my kayak, and I'm out paddling around in my kayak. I'm catching all these fish. Well, Katie's got this bright idea of she's going to buy her one of these inflatable rafts, and she's going to go out there on the water with me. All right. Now, for those of you that don't know, Katie is sitting like right there. Okay. I mean, right there next to me.
Hey, Katie.
If I black out, or disappear, I won't be back.
Right.
So, but anyway, so she goes out there, she blows this inflatable raft up, and I'm standing up on the bank and I'm just watching her. All right, because I know this is going to end in one of two ways. Either she's going to get the hang of it pretty quick, or this is going to be disastrous, and I should be filming, but
Yeah.
that's going to get me in more trouble. So she gets out there and she gets in that raft, and she takes about 2 or 3 strokes on them oars, and that wind kicks up. That wind starts going about 25, 30 miles an hour, and like a sail, Katie is gone. I mean, she's shooting across this water, and I'm standing there, I'm laughing. All right. She's screaming her head off. She's paddling. It's like a duck trying to swim in a hurricane. She ain't making no grounds, and she's headed into some massive cattails. And I thought, well, she's going to pop that, and then I'm going to have to hear about it. So I jump in my kayak. I go and I shoot across this lake. I grab her. I tie her onto my kayak, and then I start weaving my way back up toward the bank. And the entire time she's sitting back there, she's just taking pictures and relaxing. She's not helping me paddle. She's enjoying the ride. And I thought, you know what? That's what this was all about. She knew this was going to happen, but she don't get back in that raft anymore.
Hey, I've seen guys get out in Wiley, and I thought y'all are too drunk to be getting out there on a daggum rubber raft in the middle of a little old lake that you cannot swim back to shore, and get out there and you see that old raft, it started getting lower in the water. The ends of it will start kicking up a little bit. It's losing air a little bit at a time.
I
said, you better get the paddling, boy. And it's hard to paddle a raft that is weak in the middle.
Oh yeah, that is true. No, that one didn't have any holes in it, but it did. It caught air, and I mean, she was gone. It was so funny. It really and truly was. But like I said, if I would have gone live and recorded it or something like that, boys, we wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here talking to you tonight, because I would have posted it online, and then she probably would have ended my life in my sleep that night.
In my earlier years of getting boats and whatever, I had a boy to give me an old sailboat. Well, it didn't have the keel in it. They had fiberglassed over that hole. I thought, I got a buddy that had a pretty good sized pond, probably about an 8-acre pond, decent pond. Thought I can take it out there and paddle around. I had me an old canoe paddle, old wooden paddle. I got out there, and like you said, that wind whipped up a little bit. And it wasn't that bad. It was probably 5-8 mile an hour at the most. But the time I've done donuts all the way across that pond and backwards, I was about seasick. I could not stop that rascal, because either where you sat at it, it caught enough wind, and that big old belly of a sailboat.
Yep.
All I done was donuts. That thing took me up one side of that pond and back down, and I was just going round and around, and wasn't nothing I could do about it. I was stuck. I was at the mercy of the wind, and it finally got me close enough to the bank. And as far as I know, that old sailboat's still sitting on the bank of that pond. I left it there, and that's where it's been. I said, let somebody else take that ride. I don't want no more of it.
I've got a little small aluminum boat down there at the pond right now. I've patched, and this last summer we patched it again, and we went out there and launched it out there, and there was more water coming in the boat than we could be bailing out. So we finally just turned it around, put it up there on the bank, flipped her over upside down. That's all there's. There's no saving it now. So
yeah, it's them old fiberglass boats. I had old 12-foot V hull, and I fiberglass and fiberglass, but you couldn't. That old fiberglass is about rotting on that rascal, and you could not keep the water out of it. And it was I bailed water, but we went out one night out there next to South Point Boat Landing, where I'm gonna do the tournament at next year. And I had inherited a couple of my grandfather's rod and reels. Those Zebco, one of them was a Zebco 33 that actually had the ball in it. A lot of people don't know what I'm talking about, but it looked like a big old marble on the back of it. And he, on all his little old fiberglass rods, he didn't have but one eye. And in that eye, it was like tunnel vision, like looking through looking through a tube with that one eye. So on all his rods and reels, he put umbrella handles on them with the hook. So if it got jerked down or knocked off, whatever, something hit it, it would hang on something. And he could grab it easier. Well, after he passed away and I bought their old house and stuff, Daddy gave me the rods. And I went out one night and I caught me some big brim, big old pond brim, bluegill, whatever you want to call them. And I put a head on there. Back then, we didn't have circle hooks. All we had was them big Kell hooks. I put a head about half the side of my hand on there. And we were sitting right over about 40 foot on one side of the boat and about 5 foot on the other side of the boat. So we're sitting right on the river channel. I put that big old brim head on. I said, "This is for you, Papa." And I threw rod and reel slam off the end of that daggum boat. And it went off that 40 foot of water, and I ain't seen it since. I fished and fished and fished with travel hooks and never could hook that rod.
Yeah. I've got one that my dad had. It's an old orange Zebco 33 Eagle Claw rod and reel. And there's so many different stories depending on how much he was drinking,
right,
as to how he came across that rod and reel. But that I remember using that. That was a rod I was using when I fell in that croc pond. And
I hear you.
So, that was our big family fight for years was, I wanted that rod.
Yeah.
To, here at the house. And, he passed away about 5 years ago, and my mom moved up here, and she brought that rod with her. And he was not going to be buried with that rod. He thought he was. He was not going to be buried with that rod, because I would have gone down and probably dug him up over that one. And it's sitting right up there.
I hear you.
And that's I don't take it down except for to clean it, and I have no plans for it other than it's sitting there. And it can
I would have done that too, but I guess Papa wanted that dadgum rod and reel back because he got it, buddy.
It sounded like he got it.
Yeah. Broke my heart, buddy.
Oh,
you just don't see them on 33s like that no more.
No.
Very seldom. It's collectors or got them or whatever. You just don't see them.
Yeah, I've started a real collection, just but it's sporadic. Katie will go to an auction or something like that, and if it's got fishing equipment or trapping equipment, I'll go and just to mainly keep her from buying too much. It's like, all right, baby, come on, it's time to get back in the car.
She's on there talking now.
Oh, I know she is.
The gray hair.
She's gonna get Sunny going here in a minute. She
talking
really
about the
is.
gray hair, I think.
Oh, no. It's the other troublemaker, And by the way, since we've been talking about positive things and stuff like that, we just need to get this out. Lyle, the Cards are never going back to the playoffs. They're not going to do it. All right? Just enjoy the time you had in that spotlight and just let it go. The season's over. They weren't going to do it. So, all right. So years ago, we moved into these small apartments after me and Katie first got married, and I'm still am the way I am back then. I mean, I'm fishing. If I'm not fishing every day, it's every other day. And there drove by this one little apartment complex, get in and out of where we were living, and this guy's always watching me go through. I mean, he'll sit there and he watches me unload my equipment, watches me take fish back into the house and all that stuff. And I ran into him one day at the store, and he's like, "Man," he goes, "You got to let me know next time you're going fishing." I'm like, "All right." And he's, I have no problem taking anybody fishing. You say you want to go fishing, we're gone.
Right.
So I, next day I go up there, I knock on his door and tell him, hey, I'm going to be going fishing later on this afternoon if you want to go, and he's like, oh yeah. So I'll go up there and I'm sitting, I get all my stuff loaded up and he's standing outside and I see him walk back into his house and he's in there for about 10 minutes. And I thought, okay, he's getting his stuff ready. He'll be out, here shortly. And then all of a sudden I see this window open up. I see this rod and reel come out this bedroom window. And then I see this fishing bag come out this window. And I'm thinking, what is going on? Window closes. And then about 10 more minutes go by. And here he come walking down the hill, but he ain't got his stuff with him. His wife called him. Made him come down there, tell me he wasn't going fishing. And so he goes back up there, grabs his stuff, walks it back around in the house, and, goes back in. Never said anything else to me. But we finally started talking a little bit more, and we took him fishing. Me and another fishing partner of mine, we were going down and we were fishing on the Des Moines River. And he wanted to go. He was begging and begging and begging, please take me, please take me. So we finally loaded him up one day, and we told him, where we were going, you have to stay right on our hills because, we're talking thick trees, thick brush, the whole 9 yards. You're going to get lost. And this guy his name's Chris. I'm not afraid to put his name out there for, shaming purposes and stuff like that. But he's just a fun-loving guy. He really is. But he's probably 6'4", 300 pounds. He is a big, big guy. And we're telling him, that some of these places are kind of small, so you might have to crawl through here. And he's like, yeah. So we get down through there and we're going along, and every once in a while, it's kind of like with the Marco Polo thing, making sure he's still back there, and he's huffing and puffing, he's tromping through. It sounds like big old dinosaur trying to climb through a timber, and all of a sudden, we don't hear him anymore. It's like, all right, what's going on here? So I look at the other guy I'm fishing with. He's like, I'm not going back with him. I didn't, to find him. I didn't invite him. You go find him. So we go by. I weave my way back down through there. And we've been following this little deer trail to get down to where we could actually get down the bank because the Des Moines River, there's some banks on there that are 20, 30 feet high.
That's right.
And so I get to this one point and it was a Y. One, trail went toward us and the other one went right over to the riverbank edge. And I thought, surely he did not go down over that way because that's just steep. And I holler out his name. And he's like, yeah, I'm down here. I look down over and he's stuck. Literally, he fell far enough down there that he is stuck up to about his crotch level in the mud.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
No,
and he's trying to climb his way back up out of there. And it literally took the rest of the day just to get him out of that mud. And
I stepped off in a pond with chest waders on. Going to figure I'd walk around the edge of the pond and take my little fly rod, catch some of them big old pound and a half bluegill. Big bluegill. Well, needless to say, them hip waders are still out there in that pond, and I had to come out of them. I couldn't get them out. I could not move in that mud. I sunk up, slam up to my knees in that mud, and I had to come out of it. I had to walk and basically crawl backwards through that mud because once it sunk, it was over. Well, so, I told a buddy, I said, if you go down there fishing, don't throw that way because you might hang them waders, but you won't bring them back out. I promise you that. I wore myself out trying to get them out.
I was going down there to kayak fish today, and Kay's like, oh, you've got those waders. You want to wear them out there? I'm like, no. Because I think her goal was that she knew I was going to tip that kayak over, either getting in or getting out. And I was going to get stuck down there. And I'm like, no. I've had my waders filled up with water before, and you lose them. You clip them off, and you go back up the ramp. That's all you can do.
Yeah, and if you can get lucky and the bottom ain't too hard that you can reach down there and grab the bottom of the boots and you flip them upside down, you can get them. But these were slammed to my knees in the mud. There was no getting them back. They're still there. I mean, I done got so tired that really all I wanted to do was just kind of crawl. And I basically swam back through because I knew if I stood up with my feet being even skinnier, I was going to sink back up again. So I basically done the belly crawl back through it. And
well, I have to do that sometimes even without waders on.
Right, right.
Just because I'm old.
But funny stories, that hot hole I was telling you about, we was down there one winter. They just pulled the water. The white bass, Lake Wiley don't have white bass anymore because they put the white perch in there. But back then, it wasn't nothing to catch 2-pound white bass. That lake was just known for big crappie and big white bass. So we go down the hot hole, and we was down there fishing. It was spitting snow. It wasn't too bad, but it was snowing pretty good. It was starting to, dusting on the ground. And we're sitting down here, and like you said, that's pretty steep hills down in them old hot holes. I heard the awfulest racket and a bunch of giggling and laughing. I thought, what in the world? We couldn't see it. Heard this racket and looked up, and they was 7 young boys and girls brought about a 14-foot canoe down there. They jumped in that canoe at the top and went to ride that son of a gun all the way to, they thought they could just ski right off into the water. Well, when it got to the bottom and hit them big old rocks, it come to a halt. 7 of them kids ended up in the drink down there. Oh my God. There was probably 100 of people on the banks. You know how they line up when the fish oh my God. We was all just sitting on the ground rolling, son. Them kids scattered across there. Now, I mean, we checked on them, make sure they wasn't hurt or drowning or nothing. But
but that's one of those. That's one of those life lessons where it's okay. I hope you're fine, but I'm not going to check on you just quite yet because if I do, you're not going to learn anything from this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's and my unfortunately, my kids have learned many of those lessons. And it's just one of those. You're going to pay for this stuff when you get older.
Yes. And you will feel every tree sledding. I've wrapped sleds around trees. We've rode on daggum old car hoods being pulled behind 4-wheel drive trucks and get beat all half to death. I had a buddy of mine went off a hill. He had one of them that you could drive. He thought.
Yep.
Till the handle broke on it, and he hit a guide wire on a thing, and it ripped his freaking clothes off. He sideswiped that guide wire so hard that it ripped it from his neck and ripped his cotton picking clothes off. He had the worst road rash I ever seen in my life. That wire put a road rash on him. That I felt sorry for the poor old boy. I thought, just lay down in that snow right there, and we'll pack it around you because I know that junk's burning, man.
Well, my backyard. For those that don't know, my backyard is 40 acres. All right. And it is solid timber. There's 2 ponds back there. But we're talking big oak trees. We're talking big hickory trees, whole 9 yards. And those kids would they'd ride their bikes down that hill with no brakes. They had an old plastic power wheel thing that they took the motor off of so that it would spin freely. And it was like, of course, Katie's telling them stop, and I'm just like, I want to see where this is going.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm like, okay,
been there, done that.
Because Katie, I'm going to be straight up honest. Katie's the responsible parent. I mean, it's true. Because I'm like, I don't care. My kids, if they wanted to do something stupid, and I knew they were going to get hurt, it was like, well, this may hurt, and they're like, okay, and off they would go. And
that's going to leave a mark.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to leave a mark. I promise you. Here, I'll show you one that I got.
My favorite one is I always ask my kids after they did something stupid like that, what did you learn?
Yeah.
And
Buddy Parker said he was Superman until he got old. I said, yeah, I understand that, Sonny. I used to carry that S on my chest too, buddy. I promise you.
Oh, yeah.
I had that motorcycle wreck. Guy tried to run over me. And it didn't break nothing, but it peeled me like a tomato. Hot as crap outside. Well, I got over to the hospital, and me and morphine don't get along. they come in there and give me a shot of morphine, and it's like liquid fire to me. It just like it sets me on fire, and I get instantly angry. Me. And that nurse come back in there and said, Mr. Smith, we're getting ready to have to scrub you up. I'm going to give you another shot because this is going to be rough. I said, I got that S on my chest. You get to scrubbing. Time they got through scrubbing, I wished I'd took about 4 more of them cotton picking shots, son. That S on my chest faded real fast when they started putting alcohol and stuff on road rash and asphalt, son. Yeah, that S fades real fast.
About 10 years ago, we during deer season, I'm going out. I've got my gun. I'm climbing up in this deer stand, the whole 9 yards, and it's not one of your new fancy metal deer stands. All right, this is an old wooden one that somebody built probably back in the 40s.
I still got one in my woods out here. I don't dare go up it.
It was about 30 feet up in the air, and I get up there and I'm sitting up in there and I'm just, I'm relaxing. I didn't see a deer, didn't do anything. It gets about dark and I start to climb down. Well, my foot slipped, and there was just 2 rungs that my foot literally went right through, and it trapped me upside down. Now, I've got everything on me. I've got my hatchet, I've got my knife, my gutting knife, I've got my gun. I'm hanging upside down, and I'm thinking, this is it. This is how I'm going to die. Squirrels are going to come up here eventually and start making nests in me and the whole 9 yards. So I come up with this brilliant plan, and I start chunking, I chunk my gun off to one side, I chunk my bag off to the other side, and I thought, I have a cell phone. So I tried calling Katie, and she doesn't answer. I try calling her again. She doesn't answer. This goes on for 10 minutes. I finally threw the cell phone because I was mad. I mean, she could have at least got the tractor, brought the bucket out, lifted it up. It wouldn't have been that big of a fall. Oh, no. I twisted and I went straight down like a bag of rocks. I hit that ground with a thud. I mean, oh, yeah. Stars, the birds, whipping around your head, the whole 9 yards.
Yes.
So it was about, probably about maybe 1,000 yards from where I was at back to the house. But it was down a small hill, across the ditch, and then back up a really steep hill. And I got home and I was livid. I was mad. Katie wasn't home. So I start calling around, finally found her. She's down at her mom's. I'm like, where's your cell phone? She's like, well, it's in the truck. I'm like, I've been trying to call you for like the better part of an hour. She comes home. Words were exchanged. That's all we're going to say was words were exchanged. I'm sitting here and she looked down and my knee is about the size of a basketball. My shoulder's been dislocated and I'm pretty sure I had broke my collarbone. So they take me to the hospital. She's like, we should go to the hospital. I should take you in. I'm like, oh no, James, I sat there for 2 hours. I sat right here in this chair for 2 hours and I just glared at her. Well, of course, the longer I sat there, the more, the more pain was coming. And I finally was just like, baby, you got to take me to the hospital. And I mean, I'm all but crying and peeing in myself and the whole 9 yards. We get down there. And of course, dislocated shoulder, cracked collarbone. My knee is totally messed up. And they get me all bandaged up. And of course, I've got the arm splint. I got a big leg splint on. And they hand me a pair of crutches. And I'm just like, what are you serious?
Yeah.
And they were like, there you go. And I didn't make it a halfway down the hallway and I busted my butt like you would not believe.
Oh yeah.
I mean, oh yeah. Like I said, and listen, I will never be a top professional fisherman or hunter. I guarantee you, because I don't think I'll live that long. I do stupid things I know I shouldn't be doing, but I'm going to do them anyway.
Yeah.
There are days it's like, oh, yeah, you're fine. You're mid-40s. You can handle it. Go for it.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't
hold
work,
my beer
folks.
and watch this.
Yeah.
I don't drink, but hold my beer and watch this. This is going to leave a mark. I promise you.
It's going to leave a really, really big mark.
Well, guys, I
No,
appreciate everybody coming in here and joining our show. If you don't mind sharing up, we got 37 people in here, James. We see Bill of Rights has come in. We got a few that's come in late. We do appreciate it. We're just trying to share some laughs, kind of keep everything upbeat. James got some good stories. He contacted me, and I figured we share some good stories, and we're going to do it again, bring some more people in, and might do this a couple times a week, James, is getting different people in to do this kind of story hour.
there you
Getting
go.
to know each other,
Yeah,
and
it's
share
just
the love.
there's so much going on right now, and I swear to God, I am so sick and tired of hearing about that Tiger King. And I don't know if you
I don't
guys
have a
have
clue
seen.
what it is.
Oh my, James, don't watch it. Do not
I don't watch
fall.
TV.
Don't fall for it. I don't care what you do. Don't do it. Katie made me watch that stupid thing, and it's no, just don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't watch TV. I can't. I cannot draw myself to watch TV, sports, or anything else. I don't. Catfish Pirates is in the house. What's up, Alan? Irvin's in the house. Lyle's in the house. Catfish Weekly. Jay's catfishing. Mike Chavez. What's up, my friend? Yeah, it's I want to bring a few more locals in. Maybe some I can get to the cabin, some not. Wanted to try to get old Flint Hill. I was hoping he was in here tonight. Get him to call me. I've sent him a message. Like to get old Flint Hill. He does some good kayak fishing too, and
Yeah.
catches some big old cats on that kayak. He's a good guy, good people.
Oh, I want you to, James. Listen. Do not think I'm a good kayak fisherman. I, by no means, am I even a decent kayak fisherman. I still am. I get out there and it's that. No, I'm still not sure what I'm doing. So.
You having fun. That's all that matters.
But
you got another good one for us?
Actually, yeah. Let's say back when my boys were younger, we fish competitively, just between the three of us, and we always have, always will. So we go down here to the pond behind the house, and I'm throwing everything. I'm throwing everything that I could possibly think of to catch fish, and I'm just not catching anything. Well, my oldest son, he's tied two crappie jigs on there, like it was a sabiki rig. My youngest son, who is, I love him to death, but he's the biggest idiot of the family. I mean, he really is. He's following in Daddy's footprints pretty close.
So that gene pool's there. You can't deny.
Oh yeah, no, that's yeah. Well, he found him a muskrat hole. He starts digging. He's trying to get this muskrat out of this hole.
Oh
no! You have to understand these boys. I mean, they've always lived, in the gym. My boys, we've taught them how to make bows and all this stuff. They can go out, make their own bow. They make their own traps. The whole 9 yards.
Right.
They were raised on the land.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there. I'm trying to figure out what my oldest is doing, and I couldn't figure it out. And I mean, I kept watching around. And all this, and that old, yeah, well, the kid outfished me that day like you wouldn't believe. I mean, but it was, but they, on the way back, we hear something, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And that boy of mine had dug that muskrat out of that hole and put it down in his tackle box. Oh yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't want to open that tackle box.
Oh, we did.
That's huh?
Oh, we did.
Oh, I'm sure you did, but it wasn't pretty, was it?
No. But I mean, his older brother. Listen, my oldest is Harley. All right, and this kid, he's got a way about him. He really does. It would be nothing for him to come home and he's got a live raccoon, and we're talking a big boar raccoon by the scruff of the neck, and coming in going, I can't put him down. He'll get me.
Yeah.
Why did you pick him up to begin with? Oh yeah. I mean, these kids, you know, they were a handful, and then they moved out. And here's the best part for all you guys out there. This is the best part of the whole night. All right, it's going to make you think about everything in life. So about 10 years ago, we decided we were done with kids. All right, we weren't going to have any more kids. We had 3 of them. My health wasn't getting any better or anything like that, so we were done. So Katie goes down. She has tubes tied, and that was that. 10 years later, she's pregnant.
Not now. 20 years ago, we decided we were done.
Yeah, yeah. So all you guys that are out there going, "Oh, we're done. You sure about that now?" I got a 10-year-old daughter sitting right over here that'll prove. Just when you think your life is going good, they're going to mess with you.
20 years ago.
All right,
Yeah,
20
just
years
say,
ago.
just when you thought you was gonna be empty nesters, huh?
Oh yeah, and of course now the 2 older ones, the 3. I've got an older daughter, but I really don't blame her. She really, I mean, I don't even really remember her name half the time. So
I'm gonna tell you what, you know, and trust me, James, don't take this wrong. I don't wish nothing on you, but I hope the day I'm still alive when your funeral comes, because I'm sure that your family is going to have a lot to say at your funeral.
it's not going to be the funeral, James, that they say a lot at. It's going to be the trial of whichever one of them took me out. That's the whole, you know. Listen, these kids, they gave me so much grief going up. I mean, they really did. And by no means.
But you was a good giver too, wasn't you?
Oh, I was. Now you have to understand, when my kids were in school, you know, you always hear about these parents going up and telling these teachers, you know, my kid doesn't do any wrong. This is the way you're teaching them, blah, blah, blah. My big thing was, don't turn your back on my kids. Do not, you know, you put, you know, they
Yes.
put fear in you. So, you know, and now is my time to shine. I mean, my oldest son, Harley, my oldest daughter, Brianne, they both have kids. Oh, yes. Paw is returning the favor for every single, see all these grays down through here?
There
That's
you
for
go.
them kids. And it's coming. Oh, it's coming. You just wait. We're talking. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 And my, my adopted sister there, Ashley Humphrey, she, I love that girl to death. She has seen some of the things that my kids have pulled, and some of the things that her kids and my kids have pulled together. And it's just like, it's a wonder that we're not all in jail somewhere at some point in time.
Now, see, you and Wabash got to get along good, because see, he raised snakes and stuff growing up, and he was off fishing somewhere, and he had a big old albino boa, big snake.
Oh yeah.
Well, his daddy called and couldn't get a hold of Justin, and ended up calling the people that Justin was fishing with and told him to get home. His daddy hated that snake, and he had pinned him into the bathroom, his daddy.
Oh, he locked up. Oh, there we go.
And it ended up getting the snake. They ended up somehow swapping places, and Justin got home. He said, either you get it or I'm going to kill it. And he said, Daddy had done swapped that thing with the broom so many times. He said, Daddy, if I reach in there to get that snake, he's going to tear my tail up. You done got him so pissed off. He said, there ain't no way I can grab. Now, this is an 8-foot snake. This is a Burmese.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, that son of a gun bit me 20 times before I could get my hands on him to get him out of that bathroom, because Daddy was about to poop himself, and he went to telling me that. And there again, that's Louis. I could just pick. Louis like you. He's one of these guys. He can play a guitar, he can sing, but he was a storyteller.
Oh yeah.
And I could just see that daggum Louis, and with that big old freaking snake, and him scared of snakes. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
but he raised a raccoon. He raised a raccoon, and that crazy raccoon was a really, you hear raccoons being thieves. Justin said that son of a gun steal anything that was shiny.
Now I'm gonna tell you, all right. You talk about raccoons. We're gonna tell you the best story of the night. All right. I think personally the best story of the night. So my kids, being who they are, they go off, venture out into the timber, and my oldest son comes running back up there. He's like, "Dad, there's something in this log." I'm like, "Well, what's in there?" He's like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Well, stick your hand in there and find out." Katie, she runs back in the house. She grabs a pair of gloves. She's like, "Put these on." So we finally get this baby coon. And we're talking small, little bitty baby coon out of that tree. And he's just mad as can be. Well, my son, he picks him up. And he starts messing with him a little bit. And like an hour later, everywhere my son would go, this baby coon was right there following me.
Yep.
Well, he kept him back in his bedroom. And that he'd open that cage up when he got home from school. And that coon would come out here. That coon would climb up the back of the couch. And he knows that I had candy and usually chips sitting on my side table. He'd come over there and he'd grab some of them and he'd just sit there and eat them, and and all that stuff. But every time he'd walk across the back of that couch and Katie there, he'd just reach up there and just smack Katie in the back of the head like you wouldn't believe. Hated her, absolutely hated her. The best pet we ever had, I swear to God.
I had a buddy raise one. It was one of the North Dakota coons. It was like 7 generations of tame coon. That son of a gun got huge.
Oh, yeah, this one.
And loved fried chicken. That daggum, that was a fried chicken eating, cotton picking, Kentucky fried chicken. That son of a gun sat and eat a whole bucket full of chicken. Pringles and candy corn was what this little coon just absolutely loved. You open that lid on that Pringles can, and he'd come running. And he would come up there, he'd hiss at Katie, and if she did not get out of his way, he was after her. I thought it was funny. She did not think it was funny. Buddy Miranda, he ended up getting 2 albinos, and that was supposedly like 5 generations of tame. Them coons went crazy, man. He ended up having to put them down because they got ballistic crazy. And when he first got them, they was tame. You could handle them during the day. Now, they was adult coons, but once it got closer to nighttime and they really got real awake, then he had to put them up. They would get too aggressive, and it was too hard to handle. And so Jesse was the same way. That North Dakota coon, you could play with him, but he was so freaking big. When he got wide awake, he was too strong to handle.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't want to hurt you. He wouldn't, but he could hurt you.
It's just any wild animal that you run across. Potentially could hurt you, and eventually one day they went out and he climbed up in a tree and that was it. He was gone, and of course broke my my boy's heart, but Mama made the rule then and there. No more coons in the house.
Yeah.
None at all.
Yeah.
So.
But, well, James, I enjoyed Story Hour. We'll do this again. I'll probably right now, while everybody's confined and stuff, guys and gals, we probably do this a couple times a week. I'll bring some different people in. We'll share some stories, share some life experiences, and some laughs, maybe even a tear or two here and there. And but that's okay. That's how we get to know each other. That's how we share the love. And don't forget, guys, there's new channels in here tonight. Check them out. Go on there, give them some love. Check them out, and get out there and enjoy what the good Lord give us. And that's Mother Nature. Whether you're fishing, whether you're trapping, whether you're hunting. I know turkey season started I think today or yesterday. So get out there, be safe, everybody. Enjoy it. Go out and find you some morel mushrooms. I've enjoyed that. I found me a few yesterday. I know James is waiting on y'all's to pop up.
Yep, sure are.
And just get out there and wander around, enjoy the woods, and if nothing else, pick up a few outdoor hobbies. A lot of lakes like South Carolina, they close their daggum ramps down. Unless you got a private ramp, you can't get on the lakes. So, guys, there's a lot of fun stuff out there. Pick up gold panning, pick up gemstone hunting, look for arrowheads. There's all kind of stuff out there to keep you from getting bored, sitting at home, getting cabin fever. If you know there's a little spot in the woods, make sure you're not trespassing. Get permission first. But just get out and enjoy it. Enjoy what the good Lord's give us. Look out for each other. Stay safe. Do what as much as I hate to say this word, do basically what the government's telling you to do. That's stay away from others. If you have to get around them, take all the precautions that you need. You got common sense, people. Use it.
Yep.
That's what the good Lord give us a brain for, is to use it. Don't take something home to a family member. If you got an elderly family member, make sure that you don't get out to places that you can be exposed, because it might not make you sick, but it might make them sick. But that being said, God bless y'all and God bless America. James and Katie, I thank you for coming on. We'll dang sure do this again.
All right.
I very much enjoyed it. And Katie, don't kill him. We enjoy having him around.
She said she couldn't make any promises.
Well, her and my wife would get along real good.
All right.
That being said, guys, we'll see y'all on the water.
Night, everybody.
Hold on, James.